suggested yesterday he would be open to healthcare talks with Democrats to end the shutdown. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Democrat of Texas, serves on the Oversight Committee. She joins me now. Congresswoman, we've seen a bunch of indicators over the last 24 hours, from Trump saying it publicly to Marjorie Taylor Greene's post to a piece in the Wall Street Journal and even something in Politico Now. There are rumbles within the Republican Party that want to try to come to some deal on the subsidies. Are you hearing anything like that yourself?
Not necessarily. And I just talked to one of my Republican colleagues about 30 minutes ago because I was trying to find out if we were actually going to go back into session next week as my staff is trying to plan what's going on. But I can tell you, we actually discussed that Marjorie was flipping on this because it seems like everything that is important, this child ain't read the bill and has no idea of what's going on. I don't understand why Georgia keeps sending her to D.C. But this is not the first time that she wasn't quite clear on what damage it was that her party was ushering in. But listen, I will take her seeing the light at any point in time. And so, yeah, it's sad that she can only see the light when it directly impacts her because she is elected to represent almost 1 million people. And so not listening to your constituents as they're calling and they're talking about their struggles, but then making it about your children, your adult children, because their premiums are going to go up. Listen, I'll take a yes vote or somebody coming to the table whatever way I can get it, but I just don't believe that that's how government is supposed to work. I don't have any children. When I am governing for the people that elected me. And I don't think that I should be looking at it and thinking, well, because this personally is going to impact me, then maybe I should flip how I feel about it.
Yeah, I should note also in that statement, and in all fairness, she did talk about people in her district who are facing the same. One of the issues right now is that you guys are, when you were saying you're asking about next week. So the House is out. And it was supposed to come back next week. Now it's not coming back next week. What has been communicated about how long the House is going to be out? It seems like the idea is that you don't come back before the shutdown ends, which seems difficult to do if you want to actually negotiate some end to the shutdown.
Yeah, that was my question because I said, is it that we're not going to go back until and unless the Senate passes the House's version? Because what if the Senate actually does come to some sort of an agreement
Right.
and the Senate passes a version, then like we need to come back. So that particular member did not know, but his stance was that he was like, aren't the Dems going to cave? So, I don't know. I don't work in the Senate, you know what I mean? But I haven't heard anything about any caving going on. And I think this issue is just too important. And, this is actually a really ripe time to have these conversations because one of the reasons I'm sure that Rep. Green knows that the premiums are going to double is because this is when people are actually going through the renewal process, right?
Yep.
Like this is when most people are signing up for their plans. And so now they are seeing in real time what the estimated cost is going to be. So I do think that it is a fight worth waging because it's not just about Rep. Green's children. It's about everybody's children. It's about everybody's grandparents as well. And so I think that the Democrats, again, are on the right side of history. And every single time the Republicans have tried to, in some way, get rid of the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare or the marketplace, it has really backfired in the most bipartisan way. So now that the American people are paying attention and they understand why this standoff is taking place, I'm pretty confident that the American people are standing with the Democrats as it relates to what it is that we're fighting for in this moment.
Quickly, last question for you. Earlier today, Mike Johnson said he would swear in Adelita Grijalva whenever she wants. That was his words. As soon as she wants. And then a few hours later, his office put out a statement saying he's not planning to allow Democrat news member to be sworn in until her party agrees to end the government shutdown. One seems to have nothing to do with the other. Like he could swear in, they've sworn in Republican members. Do you think this really is about signatures on that discharge petition, the Epstein files?
This is absolutely about Epstein. This is absolutely about Epstein and not wanting to take that vote. It was my opinion that the White House was going to work on getting some of the Republicans off of the discharge. We only have 4. But, another thing about this is that we could be working, Chris. We could be passing actual appropriations bills. The reason that we need a CR is because we've not passed the 12 appropriations bills. So we could come back and do some work considering the fact that we are getting paid so that, you know what? they can go ahead and send it to the Senate, and then they don't have to worry about a stopgap. Instead, they would actually have done their jobs.
You could feel the tension in Washington. The shutdown dragged on, and the country waited, frustrated, tired, and angry. Then suddenly, Donald Trump hinted he might finally talk with Democrats about healthcare to end the chaos. That single statement sent political shockwaves across the Capitol. And stepping right into the center of that storm was Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas, fiery, fearless, and ready to speak the truth. Over the last 24 hours, whispers spread like wildfire: Trump's hint, Marjorie Taylor Greene's sudden post, a Wall Street Journal piece, and a Politico report, all pointing to one thing: cracks forming inside the Republican Party. Some Republicans, it seemed, were ready to talk deals and end the suffering. But when Crockett was asked if she'd heard the same thing, she didn't hesitate. "Not really," she said. "In fact, I just spoke with a Republican colleague about 30 minutes ago." She had one simple question: are we even going back to work next week? Because while Americans are struggling, her staff is trying to plan, and nobody knows if Congress is even meeting. Then she said something that hit hard. She said they talked about how Marjorie Taylor Greene keeps flipping positions. "Everything that's important," Crockett said, "this child hasn't even read the bill. She doesn't know what's going on. I don't understand why Georgia keeps sending her to D.C." Her voice didn't shake. It burned. But Crockett didn't stop there. She said it's sad that Greene only sees the light when something personally affects her, like her own children's rising healthcare costs. "She represents almost 1 million people," Crockett said, her tone sharp but tired. "She should be listening to them, not making everything about herself and her adult kids." Then she turned serious, calm but cutting. "I don't have children. But when I make decisions, I do it for the people who elected me. Not for my own comfort. That's how government is supposed to work." A moment of silence followed. It wasn't just an answer, it was a lesson. But the chaos didn't stop there. The House of Representatives was supposed to return next week, but now, it won't. No one even knows when it will reopen. Crockett asked the obvious question. "So, are we just not coming back until the shutdown ends?" She said. One Republican even asked her, "Aren't the Democrats going to cave?" Her response was firm: "No. This issue is too important to cave," she said. "This is exactly the time we should be talking, because right now, people across the country are renewing their healthcare plans. They're seeing in real time how much more it's going to cost them." Then her voice softened, but it hit even harder. "This isn't just about Representative Greene's children. It's about everyone's children. It's about our parents. Our grandparents. It's about every family in America trying to stay healthy, trying to survive." Crockett reminded everyone that every time Republicans tried to destroy the Affordable Care Act, it backfired, and Americans noticed. "Now," she said, "people finally understand what's at stake. And I believe they're standing with us, because they know we're fighting for them." Then came the twist no one saw coming. Earlier that same day, Speaker Mike Johnson said he would swear in new Democrat Adelita Grijalva whenever she wants. But only hours later, his office flipped, saying she won't be sworn in until Democrats agree to end the shutdown. It made no sense. They've already sworn in Republicans. Crockett's reaction was immediate and blunt. "This is absolutely about the Epstein files. They don't want to take that vote." Then she delivered the knockout line, one that sums up everything wrong with Washington right now. "We could be working, Chris," she said. "We could be passing real bills. The only reason we need a temporary budget is because Republicans haven't done their jobs. We're still getting paid, while Americans are suffering." Then she paused and added, calm and steady, "If they'd just do their jobs, there wouldn't be a shutdown in the first place." With that, Jasmine Crockett didn't just answer a question, she exposed the truth. She spoke for the people, not for politics. And in that moment, you could hear the frustration of an entire nation in her voice, tired of games, tired of greed, and ready ready for real leadership.